Good morning, everyone. It's Erica. I'm going to discuss week 12 subsection. I'm going to explain a few articles only, which is Article 1252 until Article 1260. So first is the Article 1252, application of payments. A debtor with multiple debts to the same creditor can choose which debt their payment applies to at the time of payment. Payments cannot be applied to debts that are not yet due unless agreed upon. If a debtor accepts a receipt specifying the application of payment, they cannot later contest it unless the contract is invalidated for a legal reason. The second one is the requisites for application of payments. So one debtor and one creditor, two or more debts of the same kind. Debts must be due and payment must not cover all debts. And the third one is rules for payment application. So the debtor has the first choice to designate which debt is paid. Once the choice is made, it cannot be changed without creditor consent. If the debtor makes no designation, the creditor can specify the debt in the receipt. If neither party applies payment, the most burdensome debt is deemed satisfied. So the Article 1252 simply states that when you owe multiple debts to the same person, you can choose which debt gets paid first. And also, you can't use your payment for future debts without agreement. And if you accept a receipt specifying the payment application, you can't later dispute it without a valid reason. So next is the Article 1253, interest payments. So payments must first cover any accrued interest before addressing the principal amount due unless otherwise agreed. So it simply means that you must pay any interest owed on a debt before you start paying off the main amount. So next is the Article 1254, handling multiple debts. If payments cannot be applied according to the rules, the most burdensome debt is settled first, and debts of the same nature are paid proportionately. It means that if the payment rules can't be followed, the most difficult debt for you to pay is settled first. If the debts are similar, the payment is split evenly across them. So the next article is 1255, payment by cession. A debtor may assign their property to creditors to settle debts, but this does not release them from liability if the sale proceeds are insufficient. Cession involves multiple creditors and requires the debtor to be partially insolvent. So it means that you can give your property to your creditors so they can sell it and get their money back, but you're still responsible for your remaining debt. This is used when you owe money to multiple people and you can't pay them all back. So next is the Article 1256, tender of payment and consignation. If a creditor unjustly refuses payment, the debtor can consign the payment to a court to be released from responsibility. Tender of payment is the act of offering payment, while consignation is depositing the payment with judicial authority. So this article means that if the person you owe money to refuses to accept your payment unfairly, you can deposit the money with the court to be released from your obligation. Offering payment is called tender and depositing it in court is consignation. So next is the Article 1257 and Article 1258, which is both connected. requirements for valid consignation. Prior notice must be given to interested parties, and consignation must follow legal procedures and be made with the appropriate judicial authority. This both articles simply states that you must tell everyone involved about the deposit and follow the correct legal steps when making it. So next is the Article 1259, Expenses of Consignation. So expenses incurred from consignation are charged to the creditor if the consignation is valid. So it means that the person you owe money to usually has to pay the cost of the court deposit if it's done correctly. So lastly is the Article 1260, Cancellation of Obligation after Consignation. So upon proper consignation, the debtor can request the obligation's cancellation. The debtor can withdraw the payment before creditor acceptance or court declaration of validity. So it means that after making the deposit, you can ask the court to cancel your debt. You can take the money back if the creditor hasn't accepted it or the court hasn't declared the deposit valid. So that's all, and the discussion I made is just short, and I hope that you understand and learn something. Thank you.